Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Come on in. Let's talk about it, man. We got a couple things we got to talk about. You guys know we've been dealing with this NIL stuff for a while now, and we'll talk about it. This thing has really it went to another level, and I think we can see how we'll take it, man. If I mean, this thing can really kind of go either way. How will it affect USC? That's the big question. I'm going to tell you guys why I personally don't think it will affect us that much, but we'll see exactly what's taking place. But come on in, everybody. I'm going to wait just a second for you guys to come on in. You guys know that I got the sunglasses on because the future is absolutely bright. You guys know I just did a video this morning, and I'm excited about some of the things I heard from the Big Ten meetings, the Big Ten Media Day. I'm happy and excited about the players that we took up there, the guys that are actually captains, those that represented USC, Jonah Monheim, Miller Moss, and of course, Ramsey. I just feel very good about everything that these guys said. So let's get into this NIL stuff, man. I'm going to wait for a second for everybody to come on in. Fight on to everybody, man. Fight on to everybody. Look, I'm going to do some things that I've done before. I'm going to open it up for a couple of people. We'll talk about this NIL stuff. But apparently the Ncaa is getting ready to essentially put regulations in place. When you're talking about NIL, you guys know that, a lot of people feel like NIL is kind of out of control. NIL, especially when you look at schools like, I don't even want to necessarily name those schools, but you got some schools that are, we've seen reports come out that unlimited NIL is in play right now. They said it. I'll just say it. Schools like Oregon, they said unlimited NIL is in play. And, I even seen with Kirby Smart this week, just put out something that said that the NIL, he wish he had Phil Knight's, talking about Dan Lennon's NIL and kind of made reference to Phil Knight. And then Dan Lennon shot back at him. And so I think a lot of people, and I'm going to say this, welcome to the West Coast, Dan Lennon, because you guys know for a long time, you had guys like Nick Saban. He went and tried to fight it at Congress, right? He went up there. He took the SEC president with him to Congress, and they tried to get some things overturned, and it looks like they tried to get some things implemented. He talked about the NIL, and as a result, I think that's what ultimately had Nick Saban retire, because he really couldn't compete with the transfer portal NIL aspect of it. Of course, Alabama's Alabama. You're going to be able to get whatever player basically that you want, but at the same time, you want the best players. And before he went out, you guys remember what he said about the Texas A&M coach, Jimbo Fisher. He said Jimbo Fisher was paying all those guys, allegedly. And coincidentally, they had the best class in the country, right, in 2022. Now we see a situation to where Kirby Smart, he almost got like a little Nick Saban-ness about him, because he makes comments in reference, you're Georgia, you win the national championships. Why do you have to make reference to anything that Oregon is doing? Is it because that you are I got somebody coming in. Let's see who this is. Yeah, everybody, make sure everybody, if you decide to come on, Big Dog, you can come on too. Make sure you guys have your cameras off, but I'm gonna allow you guys to speak, but we'll talk about some of this stuff that's going on. Let me see who this is that's in here right now, but I got somebody that wants to come on. Let's see who this is real quick.
Opening ceremonies that I've been to, and it was surreal. Yeah, there's literally no words to describe it. Just everything. I mean,
turn your music, your TV down or radio down.
Not have this on at all.
On the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you turn your TV down or your radio down real quick?
Oh, I was looking forward to.
Can you hear me? Anthony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
okay.
Here, Jack.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I just happened to stumble upon this channel. I'm looking in the replies there.
Oh, you just happen to, okay, so you're not familiar with us then.
No, I'm not familiar with this particular setup, but hey, I found it, and that's all that counts.
Hey man, well, welcome. Are you a USC guy or are you just a college football in general?
Oh, this is me, Anthony Spears.
Oh, Anthony, man, what's up? Oh, man, hey, man, Anthony, what's the word, man? Hey, Anthony, man, you know we've been trying to get you on here for the longest.
I know, man, and hey, I'm ready to go to war with you.
Hey, let me tell you, hey, for those who don't know, Anthony, man, Anthony has been a strong supporter, and we could coincidentally, we both, my cousin played with was that your family member, Aki?
Yeah, that was my cousin.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you guys something, man. My cousin played at Culver City High School with his cousin Aki Wilson, and man, this guy was one of the best players in California. I mean, that I've seen, man. He was a couple years older than me, but he was no joke. He probably ran like a 4.3 or 4.2, but he was no joke. But this is Anthony's relative, so Anthony, I definitely appreciate you coming on. But what I want to talk about real quick, it appears that they have a new change in the NCAA that they're getting ready to implement right now, and it looks like they're getting ready to essentially put regulations in place. And I'm gonna read this real quick, and I want you to respond before others come in real quick. What's happening is that let's see where it's at. Okay, this is Pete Newcoats from On 3. He says the NIL collectives are going to hate this. He says, according to the settlement, all third-party NIL deals of $600 plus must be approved by a clearinghouse that will vet contracts. If not approved, a third-party arbiter could deem athletes ineligible or school could be fined. So, you know, and let me interpret that, and I want your thoughts. Basically, Oregon, Nike is a third party. If you're not directly affiliated with the university and you're outside third party giving away money, they want to review it first. And I personally think the reason that this is happening is because of the outrageous numbers that are astronomical numbers that are happening right now. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good idea because one of the things that we do need is some type of regulatory, things and implications set in place. Because I mean, hey, they're going to run wild with this thing, and a lot of kids are going to get hurt in the process by a lot of false promises that these guys can't keep. So I think this is a good deal for the school and the athlete.
I totally agree with you, and crazy and oddly enough, USC was, I mean, we just wasn't all the way up to par. Lincoln Riley kind of alluded to that in the Big Ten meetings, and so now we find ourselves, kind of on the other side of NIL. When initially we thought we were going to be at the top when this thing first hit, but I think what Lincoln Riley said was probably the right language to use, which is we're a little bit behind, but we're catching up. And so now with this will even kind of make it even Steven, if you will.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. We kind of been behind the 8 ball, but hey, if this gives us an equal chance, with all these athletes out there, put us on an equal footing with everybody else. Hey, that's all we need.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And so I think, and then you got the revenue sharing that's getting ready to take place as well. So I think. If it was up, well, I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to hate on the next man money, but I just want to see more of a balance. You would like to see our collectors really come out all full throttle with it, but it's not like that. But you would kind of like to see a little bit more of a balance, because you got agents involved and they taking college football as a whole is really not the same as it used to be when you're talking about recruiting. Recruiting is, the recruiting aspect is the relationships that get developed. But now it's like you get there, you do your recruiter trip, kind of like Justice Terry, Isaiah Terry, and you establish some relationship. But then the next person you start talking to is essentially you talking to an agent. So it's like, man, is this the NFL?
That's just what it looks like. And that was one of my greatest fears, to see agents really play such a big role in all of this, because agents as a whole, I mean, they set the pace for the whole, for everything. I mean, look at the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. These agents have really driven up the revenue, and it makes it really, really hard for a small team or a small college to even think about competing.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. So, and one of the things was I've always kind of leaned more toward college football more so than the NFL. And now if it's going to be the same as the NFL, it's going to be like, man, it's not, it always gave me that feeling that college guys were essentially hungry. They wanted to give them something to look forward to. Not saying you don't want to get paid, because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to make it to the NFL. But then, and as well as these guys do break up their bodies. And in the event that a guy gets hurt forever, you do want some type of compensation to be in place. So, but dang, the way Oregon is doing it, they just throwing all types of bags. And then, the report came out just a couple of weeks ago. You talking about unlimited NIL. I mean, nobody can really compete with that at this point.
I think if they did put a limit on, every position is worth so much, that makes it equal across the whole board. Then everybody has an opportunity to not only explore the money side, but the developmental side. But, when all that money is flowing out there, developmental kind of becomes secondary as opposed to, everything else. So, I think this helps an athlete. I think they should get paid, of course, because like you said, the bodies are being broken up, and, if they don't make it to the NFL, they should get something for, what they put into the game.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, man. So, Anthony, man, you finally made it, man. I'm happy. I was getting ready to hit you in the inbox though on your Instagram and just go and send you the link, but you made it, and I didn't have to do that. I got it in my phone right now, and while I was trying to get people to come in, I was going to actually put it in your inbox. So I'm glad that you made it. And this is the way you do it. You see, it's not technology. It's not that hard, Anthony.
No, it's not that. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I'm getting used to it. And hey, I just want to tell you one thing, though, Jay. You a real guy, man, and I just totally appreciate what you bring to this situation. To this USC thing, man. And like I said when I first started, man, looking for somewhere to call home, found you. And all of the values that you bring along with you, all of because you're a unique guy, man, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope everybody else realizes the treasure that's within you and all that you share with us. So thank you, man.
Hey, Anthony, I think I can remember, I got a little over 6,000 subscribers. I think when I have 500 subscribers, I think I remember your name. I mean, so you are somebody that I really consider a day one person. And I really appreciate you. And hey, I appreciate those words. I really do.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I appreciate you and look forward to, all your content, everything that you put out, man. I'm there knocking on the door every day trying to see what's up.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you, Anthony, and stay blessed. And we'll be talking. Fight on.
Absolutely. Fight on, my brother.
All right. Take care. All right. So look, man, I put the link in there. We're talking about this new NCAA rule that just came out. And look, man, USC is now in a situation to where it can possibly be even Steven. And as I was stating before, Anthony, come on, listen, I just put that link in there for those who want to come on. You're more than welcome to tap in with me. Big dog. Hey, if you want to tap in, come on to tap in. You don't have to put your face on there if you're working or whatever. I ain't trying to say work while you do it, but I am saying if you at work, put them earphones in, turn the camera off, put it in your pocket, and you come on, man. This is Zulu Nation, Zulu Trojan. I said Zulu Nation. Hold on, I got somebody coming in. Let me see. Oh, this Blackie. Man, Blackie Chad, what's up, man?
What up, USCJ?
Hey, man, if you're not subscribed to Light the Torch, man, make sure you subscribe to Light the Torch. This is Blackie Chan from the Light the Torch podcast, man. What's the word?
I'm actually out in California right now with my family, just visiting my sister, and I just saw your live.
Is that why you weren't on the podcast last night, man?
Yeah,
I was about to give you a strike, man. 3 strikes, you out, man. All right, I'm about to give you a strike, but it's all good. It's all good,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, my sister's leaving to Japan on Saturday, so we came out here to surprise her before she left. So yeah,
Okay.
I've just been busy with that. I wanted to try to make it, but just too tired right now.
Oh, that's all. Hey, man, life comes up, man. But
Yeah.
real quick before you get out of here, what is your thoughts on this now? It looks like the NCAA is getting ready to. Well, it looks like it's already approved. They may probably take this up to Congress, but what are your thoughts? I don't know if you heard everything that I've been talking about.
I have not, so I jumped on here just to find out from the horse's mouth.
Okay, well let me get into this real quick. The NCAA, and this is according to On3, it looks like they're getting ready to and I'll read it to you. The NIL collectors this is Pete Newco's putting this up. It says the NIL collectors are going to hate this. It says according to the settlement, all third-party NIL deals of $600 plus must be approved by a clearinghouse that will vet contracts. If not approved, a new third-party arbiter could deem athletes ineligible or schools could be fined.
Oh.
Yeah. So look, man, and you know what we consider a third party. Let me just say it. Nike is a third party. They're not directly attached to the institution. So what are your thoughts on that? You know, if these deals being possibly having to be approved.
No, that's definitely great. I just wonder if they're going to try to sneak around it by saying Phil Knight. Since he went to Oregon and all that stuff, I wonder if they're going to try to finagle that way. But that's definitely good because there's a lot like, what was it? Texas has like Lamborghini and all that stuff. So that's how they're getting a whole bunch of people is because of Lamborghini money. So I don't know. It definitely levels the playing field a little bit more, makes it less of just a free for all for just like people like Nike just to swoop in just because they have unlimited pockets.
Yeah. And it's, Nike, I mean, you got to think all of us are sponsoring Nike. I mean, for the most part, I mean, everybody wears Nike, so yeah, the money is essentially unlimited. And I don't know if you heard what Kirby Smart had to say about Dan Lennon, that whole little fiasco. I mean, Kirby Smart is really essentially doing the same thing that Nick Saban was doing because he sees that this thing can really get out of control, man. Like if no type of regulations is put in place, this thing could really go into another level. So I think Kirby is essentially doing what Nick Saban did and said Jimbo Fisher is paying all these players. What's your thoughts on that?
Even UCLA's head coach even took a shot at Nike about that when he was like talking about like free agency, but he's like, oh, well, we don't have Nike money or anything like that. So everyone's taking shots at everyone knows it. They're just afraid to say it out loud, except for USC fans. We're always willing to point that out. So Kirby is definitely a smart guy, and he knows what's his name from Oregon or whatever, like the head coach. So he knows why he went over there because he knew he would have unlimited NIL because of Oregon or of Nike. So
yeah, no doubt, man. So I think this could be a win situation for us, man. I mean, because
I hope so.
Initially we thought that we were going to be ahead of the curve, man, and then we just, and we heard Lincoln Riley's comments yesterday in the Big Ten Media Day, and he just said, we're trying to play catch up. So this will help us get all the way caught up now.
I'm tired of those late night checks being thrown at players, and we're losing on them because they just get
at the last minute.
Yeah.
And that's a great point. How often will that happen if they have to run it by a group that has to review everything? You know what I mean?
Exactly. We would have their star tackle at USC right now if it wasn't for that late night check.
Josh Connerly. I mean, I can go on.
John Connerly,
yeah. Roger Pleasant. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man. So I think for me, I'm happy about it. I'm not hating on nobody's money, but I think everybody should get paid. But it got to be some type of balance.
Yeah, it has to be regulated. It can't just be, I'm going to give them a blank check or whatever. Like there needs to be some kind of regulations and like just control behind it.
Because the NFL even has a cap. They have a cap.
Yeah.
And then they got a free agent time. I mean, they just have all types of things that, but so we'll see what happens with that, man. Anything else you want to say, man?
Nah, pleasure jumping on here.
Hey, man, you know, anytime with you, man. You already know that.
All right, Jay. I'll see you later.
All right, big
Fight
dog.
on, guys.
Fight on, my man. Fight on. Young Tiny, what's up, bro? Come on in. I put the link down there. It says StreamYard link. Come on in if you want to come in. I remember you said one time you had some you didn't know when I was coming in. Half-breed, what's up, my man? What's the word? So look, man, you guys tap in, man. I want to know what you guys think. Those who want to come on, I'm giving you know, you could turn the camera off, you could turn it on. And a lot of people, some people feel comfortable with having the camera off. And I understand that. So you could do what the first guest did, Anthony Spears, and turn the camera off. And that way it's just calling in. That's it. But if you guys scroll down, you'll see the screen, the StreamYard link in here. And we're just talking about this NIL stuff. Real quick. Let me read it. No, JuJu is not. Hey, let me tell you something, man. That's a whole nother story. I was going to do a video about that, but I guess we can kind of talk about that. Let me, yeah, I guess I'll talk about it. I was going to do a video tomorrow, but I'm going to talk about that right now. I mean, for those who didn't know, man, apparently, and you guys know that, and I'm going to get back on this NIL stuff. I'm just waiting to see if somebody else wants to come on in. But apparently, JuJu Lewis, I'm not saying he's going which way, one way or the other, but apparently we are. Let me just read what Greg Biggins say. I don't want to even put words in the mouth. This is Greg Biggins from 24/7 Sports. He says, I saw a note in the war room and can add USC, Lincoln Riley are definitely putting a full court press on Hassan Longstreet right now. It is interesting since JuJu Lewis is still committed, but the staff has continued to reach out to Hassan since the summer and has really ramped things up over the last month. I can say Hassan is very comfortable with his commitment to Texas A&M, but saying that USC was a childhood favorite. And listen, let me, for those who don't know who Hassan is Longstreet is, I'll be honest, he's my favorite quarterback, one of my favorite quarterbacks. He's from Centennial High School. He's a local product. He moved up. Matter of fact, he jumped over JuJu Lewis in the rankings. You guys know that I talked to you guys about JuJu Lewis, the rankings just not too long ago. Hassan actually jumped over JuJu Lewis. Now, I have been, if you guys listen to this podcast, you guys know that I have brought information about Hassan Longstreet. I did a video about him. And I can tell you that this, you can confirm this. Where's my guy at, Brandon? Let me see who my guy Brandon is. I thought I saw his name in here. Where is he at? Brandon Jones from Light the Torque podcast. I had conversations with him behind closed doors, and I told him that Hassan Longstreet is essentially like my favorite quarterback, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the 2025 class. The guy is, he's a local guy. The guy is athletic. He's built like a stallion. I mean, his shoulders are wide. And when you look at his film, you know, it's really mind-boggling to me personally why we never actually went after him harder until now. That, you know, I told another guy I'm connected with that's out there in, you know, close to Centennial, and Hassan Longstreet is the real deal, man. So that's what it is, man. You guys can hit me on that. You guys that want to jump in, come on and jump in, man. You guys can tell me what you think. Now, what does that mean for JuJu Lewis? I'm not even about to speculate. Only thing I can tell you is, you guys know that I did a video about JuJu Lewis, and I said the title was, should USC be worried about JuJu Lewis? Now, in that video, I did say that I felt like I could only go by what his mom told me, which was they're coming by to look for an apartment. They're supposed to be coming to LA, look for an apartment sometime this summer because his little sister, JuJu's sister, is supposed to be going to school, I guess. So the whole family's moving out. So that was pretty much the last information I gave you guys. But at the flip side, I was kind of worried and wondering, like, what was happening with all these visits with JuJu Lewis. It just didn't make sense. And I told you guys I felt like JuJu needs to shut it down. And, you know, it's weird because I be having these conversations. I don't want to try to alarm the fans, and I just don't understand. I just saw something yesterday from Draymond Miller. The conversation is open now. I'm just going to talk about it. Draymond Miller, the former Texas A&M commit, who just committed to, I believe he's committed to Colorado, but he put a picture of JuJu Lewis in a Colorado uniform just a couple days ago. And I'm thinking to myself, why, like, what's really going on? Like, to me, it's almost, last time we heard that JuJu Lewis was supposed to shut it down in July. It's almost about to be August. What, next week, right? So, like, it's July. Are you going to shut it down or not? Man, so, you know, that's kind of the situation where we're at with that, man. So you guys can drop those comments. Let me get to some of these comments. So, Half-Breed, I know that was a long way around it, but that's what it is right now, man. That's the situation that we kind of dealing with. So I don't know. Big Dog, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Coach, man, hey, what's going on, my man? No, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's even close to happening. I think Paul Feinbaum is lost in the sauce, and he's just talking. Alan Sanders, if some schools had better NIL, well, good on them. That's an advantage for them. Can't hate on. I'm not hating, but I said at the same time there does need to be some caps. You know, and these guys are throwing last-minute bags, but you know, because they got unlimited. I'm not hating on them at all, but I'm just calling it like it is. It's more likely that Urban Meyer will coach at USC before. Yeah, facts. That's a fact. But I think Lincoln's gonna be here though. That's just. I'm taking Lincoln Riley over Deion Sanders. Yeah, straight up. And I'm gonna tell you this: Lincoln Riley has never been to the place that he's been at right now, which is a whole new defensive staff. Listen, I don't think people know what's really about to take place. If Lincoln Riley could be as effective as he is calling plays, like the way he calls plays, and being a phenomenal offensive coordinator, play caller that he is, listen, and you got a defense now. Are you serious? Do you guys remember when he played in the playoff games? He a couple of times. All he needed was to keep a team to maybe 30 points, 35 points, and he could have won the game. Now he's got a defense. Come on, man. This is about to be a new situation. Jay, are they still looking to get rid of? I never mentioned Dave Emmerick. I never said it. I never mentioned that. That wasn't me. I never said Dave Emmerick. But I did say there's gonna be some changes at the top. But I never mentioned his name. This new NIL rule might violate, and antitrust will be stuck down in court. Everything in the NCAA does have. Yeah, well, this could actually be another avenue to get rid of the NCAA. We'll see what happens, because at the end of the day, nobody likes to be controlled. These are big institutions. These institutions have lots of money coming in, and they might say, look, we want to spend our money the way they want. But I'm glad it's here now. Hopefully we'll see how it goes, because you guys know we got coming in, we got revenue sharing. So all this stuff, I mean, things about to change. There he is. Look, hey, what's up, big dog? Fight on, man. Zulu Nation is right. Shaka Zulu. Hey, schools will just cut checks under 600. No, listen. It's not $600K. It's $600. $600. That article said $600. Anything over $600, they want to look at. Let me get to Blackie Chan. I think I see a super chat up here. Let me get to this real quick. Man, I got comments all the way down here. Let me see. I'm going to get to more of these comments. Okay. Hey, thank you, Blackie Chan, for super chat. After the Michigan game, these players that decommitted from USC, the players are going to think, man, look, here's the thing. You got the best coaching staff, and thank you, Blackie Chan. You got the best coaching staff available to you. Tell me why in the world. And we know it's NIL. I mean, some of this stuff is NIL. So, but you got the best coaching staff available. So we'll see what happens with it, man. But I think this is going to change. Hopefully, this is my hope. I hope that this shifts guys' thinking to the point to where they're not going to be so fast to just go from school to school to school. I mean, because you see guys bouncing. I just saw a guy yesterday. I think he committed in June. I can't remember the player. If anybody knows it. And yesterday he committed to, it was Oregon defensive tackle. He just committed a couple of weeks ago. Jamar, what's his last name? He's from Northern California. Just committed to Oregon, 6'3", 315-pound defensive tackle, committed to Oregon in June. All of a sudden, he just flipped his commitment to Texas yesterday. Like, I've never in my life seen so many musical chairs happening in my life. Like, you could be committed to one school one day, and then the next day, we see what happened to Stubbs. Stubbs was committed to USC. All of a sudden, he flipped to Miami. Like, this stuff is really crazy. So my hope is, if this does anything, because here's what we got to realize, and this is not hating on anybody's money. What we got to realize is this, is that these guys are not even, it's like, are guys thinking about the educational aspect? Like, $600,000 is not a lot of money. Now, it's a lot of money if you don't have no money, but it's not a lot of money like that money. But the long-term game has got to be either the NFL or you got to get your education. But like, are you even thinking about how much of your decision is even factored off of your education aspect of it? Like, are you considering that, like, you can get hurt and you have to, at some point, you're going to have to use your brain. You got to utilize another part of your body. And so it can't just be about the NIL, and just because, to me, NIL, and the money that they're giving, well, in some schools, is only temporary. It'll hold you down for a little bit. It'll take care of you. You might be able to buy a car. I think JuJu Lewis said he bought his mom a car. You'll be able to do that. But at the end of the day, unless you get millions, M's, I used to have a lot of partners that play, a couple partners that played in the league. And they, I remember being in limos, and they'd be like M's. And it took me a minute to figure out what everybody was talking about. He getting M's. They were talking about millions. They don't even talk about thousands. They talk about the millions. Listen, it's about the bag. It's about the real big bag. Are you getting the M's, not the little bitty couple $100,000? Now, I heard that some guys are getting 1.2 million if you go into certain schools. If you're getting that money, hey, you almost can't turn that down. I mean, I understand that, but it is what it is. What's up, my man? They're going to be flipped. Oh my God. Hey, listen. Yes, way too many kids committed there for. Hey, think about the Texas A&M thing. Think about Noah McHale that went to Texas A&M, and the other guy from Northern California. He went to Texas A&M. All these guys going to these schools, and you got a couple guys that went to Miami. It's like nobody's really thinking about the football aspect of it anymore. It's more so about other stuff. And you got to wonder, like, are they really thinking about being developed? Because, like I said, I will put USC staff up against anybody. It doesn't matter who. I will put them up against anybody. I think we got the best coaching staff, one of the best coaching staff. I would say top 5, hands down, top 5 coaching staff assembled together at USC has. If you getting millions from NIL checks, they are making more than their coaches. Yeah, absolutely, which feels wrong. But here's the thing. There's so many other things that come along with this. You got taxes, you got the agents that you got to pay now, and like people hear the M's, but you got to get a whole lot to really benefit from that. And I need it. If I get the real M's, I'm gonna put it in a mutual fund, and I'm gonna live off interest, $100,000 for the rest of my life. If that math is right, 6% interest rate or something, whatever that is. But I'm just saying, if I had the real M's, but if you get $1 million deal, you still not gonna get the full M. You got to pay the taxes. You got to pay the agent. So it's not gonna be the full M anyway. But I'm not gonna live off $100 for the rest, $100,000 for the rest of my life. But I would just set it up like that to where you can have an extra income. I need more than $100,000. I need more than $100,000 a year for me personally. But I'm gonna get to some of these comments. The players are always gonna make more than the coaching staff. No, well, USC, I doubt they make more than the USC coaching staff. I can guarantee you, like Eric Henderson, Matt Ince. I don't think Matt Ince came over for peanuts. I don't think Eric Henderson did either. I don't think, and you know, all these coaches make. I think our coaches. I mean, Georgia coaches. I think these coaches making some money, man. But I don't know. You may be right, and to an extent. That will destroy a lot of these players' lives. Not mature enough to spend it. Hey, they need financial service. They need financial classes, literacy classes. It's so many different things that need to be involved with these guys getting a real big bag, man. NFL players blow their money. So, you know, these guys need to be taught. All these schools that are making Oregon the boogeyman are setting themselves up to get exploited by players. Kids will use Oregon interest to leverage more money from these schools. Well, here's the thing. It looks like they're about to put Oregon's not the boogeyman. Phil Knight is the boogeyman. Let me get that straight. Phil Knight is the absolutely he's the one, and it came out. Look, it's been all over On 3. It's been over everywhere. They said basically Oregon had unlimited NIL. I mean, that's what they said. And my thing is, and isn't it ironic that this is coming out now that they're going to monitor these NIL deals, the ones that are coming for a third party, that's over $600. That's what we're talking about now. Isn't it ironic that this is even coming out just a couple days after Kirby Smart made those comments? Remember when Nick Saban made comments? Isn't it ironic that the SEC, they still control, you know, these guys, man, I'm telling you, these guys in the South, whether it's Nick Saban or Kirby Smart, they just can say whatever they want. And really, and it seems like they really listen to what the, you know, college football as a whole. And that's how you know that college football is really governed, a lot of it, man, by that stuff in the South. When you talk about a big part of the world, the United States, whether it's Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma, all these different states that are just take up all kinds of space, Florida, I mean, it's unbelievable. All of a sudden, now they come up with a new rule just today. That's pretty unbelievable to me. You guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. Cali taxes are indeed whack. Absolutely. Our state income tax is the highest in the country. Yeah, it's incredible. Jay, they are kids thinking of money and not their future. If grown men who are professional players end up broke, these kids are going to in that direction. I totally agree, bro. Like it has to be. I'm gonna tell you, I've made a lot of money in my life, and I've messed over a lot of money. I mean, I screwed. When I look back, I wish I could just, you know, do it all over again, because it's like, you know, you realize like money can just be easily spent. So, but this was years ago, and I could have saved better. I could have did a lot of things better. When you're young, you just don't know how to, you know, I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, I remember having diamond watches. You know, you looking at all this stuff. You know, I mean, just unnecessary stuff. And when you look at the debt to income ratio, when you start making more money, you know, you got to start realizing like, okay, I make more money, but the way for me to live is my debt to income ratio. Just because I make more money, I don't have to go spend the money. I could put back, maybe invest it, maybe utilize my money into a stock market, opposed to just buying up some cars, some jewelry, some stuff. These guys got to learn that stuff. They got to be taught this stuff. I'm not trying to have a financial service class, but I'm just saying. See what's going on in Georgia. Yeah, man, Georgia, they are lost in the sauce, man. But, you know, I was having this conversation with somebody, man, that, you know, I feel like individuals make individual decisions, man. I mean, I personally, you know, I remember somebody saying it's a culture problem, and it could be some type of culture problem. But I feel like individuals make their own decisions, and the coach can't be with you 24/7. These guys are doing some just dumb stuff, man. On and on and on. Yeah, I saw that today, man. I hope the situation with him I hope they get their situation right. Because at the end of the day, I look at these guys as young brothers, man. I don't want to see guys making no dumb mistakes, because they got sky's the limit, man, with their future. You got a great opportunity in front of you. Why the heck you want to mess it up? Unbelievable. I was talking about players in the NFL and how it's not too crazy to think that college football players, NFL minor leagues, will make more than the, oh, okay, I got you. My bad. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Money destroys people. Man, it's crazy. In abundance. Imagine having large amounts of it without the maturity to fully, man, it doesn't make any sense, man. These NIL changes are in the works for months in advance. If it was an issue of payments, get it out of hand, they would have be reviewing anything over 100,000. Well, no, it's $600, man. It's $600. I don't know why $600. Look, I guess they looking at the EA Sports game where they giving players $600. Like, why would you even put that figure into play? $600. That's ridiculous. I mean, anybody. I mean, I can go down the street and make $600. I can just, well, I'm not gonna say that, but you know, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, $600. Anybody can make $600. I mean, you can go sell lemonade on the corner at the lemonade stand and make $600. They talking about $600. Yeah, get with the big money, man. They could at least put it maybe $20,000, $30,000. You know, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Allen, if two schools are equally loved by a player, why not go with the school that pays more? Getting a new job, usually money. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But at the end of the day, when you got certain athletes, high caliber athletes, here's the other part of it. You can go to a great company, right? And you could be involved with a company that offers you more money, but there's an old saying that say all money ain't good money. Am I going to learn in a current position at a current job that I'm already at, and in the long run it'll be better for my future? Or am I going to hop to a place where short-term money, it's the same way as the devil? The devil, hey, you want me to get biblical on you? The devil offered Jesus the world, right? The devil offered Jesus the world. But guess what? It wasn't the best thing for him. Sometimes the devil can come and offer us a lot of things, but it ain't good for us. The best thing to do is hang tight, right? And stay grounded and really look at the big picture. Let the church say amen. Hey, I am shocked if there's a 16-year-old kid out there who knows anything about debt to income. But the thing is, they need to understand that. They need to, yeah, you're right. They need to learn that. They absolutely, yeah, I saw that. Did you see the top Stanford softball pitcher just offered $1.2 million? Yes, I saw that. And look, there's a common thing right now. There's a common thing, and that is these schools, Texas A&M, Oregon, Miami. It seemed like you could count them on one hand, on one hand, that they're the same schools that keep popping up. Texas A&M was the school that last time had all that money, offering all those players, and they got all the players. You see what happened? Those players left the school. Walter Nolan left. Now he's at Ole Miss. What do you guys think that does for development if you don't hang tight? What does that do for chemistry as a player? There's so many things, fundamental things in life that we learn from just hanging in there, sticking it out, growing relationships with players, relationships with coaches. Now you're ready to bounce because everything else is not the same way as it used to be. It's like, but you're seeing this now. Michigan State, I mean, you just see all these guys bouncing, and it's like, hey, some of them already got the bag, but guess what? They're not staying to get fully developed. And a guy like Walter Nolan, that guy has phenomenal talent. He is just a baller. But you want to get fully developed. Jay, what about holding accounts, money markets, Roth IRAs until the players graduate? Or, well, the only thing I will say about that is I do agree with Arthur. You want to get some type of money. I mean, like, it depends on what area you're from, man. Like, look, some people, they do need to get their mom a car. Moms might not be driving the best car. And, hey, there might be an immediate need. And look, money answers a lot of things, right? A whole lot of checks for $5.99 about Hey, they about to have some EA Sports, man. EA Sports game is worth $600, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. USCJ, do you really think that USC will not pay for? No, USC has NIL. Keyshawn, Bush, Liner all have publicly. Listen, USC, they are participating in the NIL, but the structure is a little bit different. So, but it's just not these astronomical numbers. And I think Lincoln Riley alluded to it when he was at the Big Ten Media Day. He was talking about some of these, they're not going to basically just go crazy outbidding. And I mean, it's just, I think it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, especially when you got coaches. If you can get a competitive NIL offer, I mean, make sure you get in under the right coach too. This ruling won't stop the pay for play. It just makes it more difficult. Absolutely, but it'll slow things down. Coaches leave for better jobs all the time. Of course, I think you mean of course. Of course, relationship matters a ton. The Texas A&M baseball coach just left for a bag. Yeah, coaches leave all the time. But I will say this. The coaches are they're in their career. And I think as youngsters, get the bag. I'm not saying don't get the bag. But I'm saying if you're in a good spot with some good coaching and you're offered $500,000, let me say this. You guys remember Frisk, the Florida State transfer? He went to Western Michigan. He transferred last year. I think he got drafted in one of the first 3 rounds this year. What was his first name? Frisk. But anyway, he said he went public and said USC offered him $500,000 with the NIL. So here's what I'm gonna say: if USC offered you $500,000, that's good money for NIL. And then you got coaches that are coupled with that, right? You got Eric Henderson, you got Dan Talent that could really just polish you to the next level to be the utmost football player that you could possibly be. Why not be content? Money will make you uncontent. Money will make you not be in the best place that you could possibly be in. But if you're level-headed, if you got the right advice, $500,000, I will take it. And then I know I'm going to the NFL the next year. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get under this good teaching, a guy that trained coincidentally Aaron Donald, a guy that coincidentally Kobe Turner, Pro Bowlers, some of the guys at the best position. Why not do that? Why would you want to do that? That to me, that doesn't make any sense. That's exactly what I think. Seems like a cash grab for lawyers. Yeah, sorry, I didn't type my last comment. No, you good. I understood what you meant. So look, man, I just wanted to, and look, for those who just coming in, let me put this in here one more time before I get out. I want to make sure nobody wants to come in. Let me see this real quick. I'm going to put this link in here. This is a StreamYard link. If anybody wants to come in and say something real quick. Yeah, Fitz was offered. No, he was offered Fitz was offered $500,000 by USC. I don't know how much he was offered. I'm assuming that he was offered more from Florida State. But Fitz, he went up there and said that that he let's see here. Yeah, he said that he hey, Jeff, if you want to come on, I can't even remember what I was going to. Jeff, come on, my man. If you're coming in. Hey, so look. Oh, Fitz said that he got $500,000. He went on tape. It was a video. He actually did it. And hey, it is what it is. So look, man, I'm about to. Hey, I appreciate you, Jeff, man. Really appreciate you, my man. So look, I'm about to get on out of here. I didn't want to be no longer than an hour. We just wanted to come talk about that new ruling that just took place. It looks like there are some regulations that's getting ready to take place with the NCAA. I'll put the StreamYard link in there. Nobody else is getting ready to come on. Look, I appreciate everybody. We've been conversating through the chat, but we only had a couple that came on through guys. We don't have state income tax here in Florida. We know that. And I mean, that's why everybody going to, it's crazy. But they still got federal income taxes. So look, we've been on 50 minutes, man. I just want to tap in with everybody, man. Everybody, man, continue to like. Everybody that comes in, like, subscribe, share. You guys know where you can find me. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, Anthony Spears, I just saw that Cash App. Thank you. Hey, listen, let me say this to everybody. I would much rather for you to donate to my Cash App that's connected to my YouTube than could do it to, YouTube. They don't give you all that. They take half the money, for those who don't realize that, who always send something. But I understand those super chats. It highlights the comments, so I get them up. But if you want to donate to support the channel, you look on my YouTube on the back of my homepage. Thank you, Anthony Spears, for the donation to my Cash App. Thank you a whole lot. It's a way of supporting this channel. I appreciate everybody, man. Thanks for everybody for tapping in, man. Jeff, thank you, man. I thank you on every single. You got to be the most dedicated fan I've ever seen. You're literally, but Jeff, guess what? I do the same thing. I'm gonna watch my guy tonight. I love USC football, man. I can get something from everybody. And so, look, I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. I'm about to be out of here. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.